Hello everybody, welcome to art class. Today we are going to be talking about drawing maps or treasure maps. We're going to do two different things. One, we're going to show how to draw something like this so it looks like it's on an old-timey scroll that's curled up on the edges. And then we're going to do another one where we try to use something like a brown paper bag, and we'll open it up and kind of make it look like an old-timey map that you would find like an old movie or something. So, and then we're going to talk about the different details that go into. We're going to draw a made-up island or a piece of land, and what goes in, like what details, what trees, what kind of animals live there, that kind of thing. So let's get going. Okay, to get started, we're gonna try and draw what looks like an old scroll map. So I'm gonna start up at the top, go down, and draw bottom. I might make it look like it's kind of cut or rough. I'm gonna go rounded edges and go up there and stop. Now, what we want it to look like is something like that. So it looks like it's scrolled up. So, that's a little off there. So this is where the rolling part is. So we're gonna kind of put our pen or pencil or marker, whatever you have here. We're gonna go kind of point it up. So that's the scroll, and then the paper goes underneath there. And then we're gonna do the same thing over here. Around, goes right up to there. So now this is the edge of that rolled up part. So we start down here and kind of give it a rounded top like that. Do the same thing over here. And then this is rolled so it looks like it's kind of pushing up, so it's going to not be level with here. You're going to move down just a little bit and connect it. I might do. And there we have it. That is our hand-drawn scroll. Now with this you can do any number of things. You can color the map once you have stuff drawn on it, and you can color, do different shading here. This would be darker under here because it's, underneath the paper, it's hidden from the light. You can draw things on the edges if you would like, to make it look like it's maybe a map in a book, but next we're going to talk about what would go in the actual map, the islands and the land formations and everything. Okay, I'm going to start showing you this on just an empty sheet of paper, remembering that we can put it on this. But I just wanted to have that to show you on its own. So with this, I think the best way to do it is to make it simple, but not overly simple. You want the island to be big enough that you can fit different things on it, but you don't want so many details that it takes away from what you're doing. And remember, if you do something like this, it has to fit in here, okay? So, and the other aspect of a map is, like you'll see, like this thing, which shows the directions, north, east, south, west. You want to put that somewhere on your map. And that just shows, like if you were looking at a real map, all maps have that, so you know which way is north and which way is south, so you don't get lost if you're looking at the map. So I'm gonna just make up a land. I'm doing it with pencil just because I might see something I don't like. Draw something like that, and then I'm gonna give it a big island over here. I think I'm going to call it the Footprint Island. So now I have the basic shape. I hope you can see that. It's a little light. I drew it light on purpose. So then what we have to do is you start thinking of what is going on in this island. And immediately I thought that maybe these two islands don't like each other. This is the bigger island. So maybe up here you could put in, there's some mountains up here. All you fans of Bob Ross, you could do kind of fancy mountains. And remember, you're gonna have to go back in and use colored pencil, might be really good for this, or crayon or marker, but you're gonna wanna highlight the drawing and then you can color it later. So even if with this, if all you have is pencil and maybe colored pencil or whatever, or even just all you have is pencil, you wanna make this relatively dark and, obvious. And maybe, you could draw an animal here. Maybe there's bears that live there, or tigers. You could draw a picture of a tiger. Out here is the water, and you can kind of decide how you'd like the water. I mean, typically that's the thing for waves. You might have, something like maybe there's a big whale that lives there. And these, they can be as realistic as you'd like. It can be as fun as sometimes it's kind of fun to draw like a cartoon version of some of these animals. And maybe, so this is the mountains. And then you could label that the dark mountains. And then, since I made up a story that these two maybe don't like each other, maybe they have a big castle. It's right here. And see, you're not drawing it to be completely realistic. Like obviously this castle isn't going to be that big in that spot. The mountains, it's just showing to the north there are mountains, and down here maybe there's maybe this is all desert, this spot right here. And then maybe over here there's a bunch of trees. So this could be, a forest. And you just want to think about what details would be involved in your island. And maybe you could even put there's a hint of an island over here, but we don't know what it is. Or maybe there's sea creatures in the water. So it's like a snake and then it comes up. And obviously I'm kind of going kind of fast because I don't want to have to show you everything you could do. So that's just an example. You can draw anything you can think of. And think of it, look, you're not drawing a realistic picture of the land, you're doing a representation or a map of what this would look like. So if you're an explorer, you're like, there's mountains to the north, there's a forest here, there's a desert, and then there's the castle. And then you can come up with whatever you would like here. And I think it's kind of fun to think of a story of whatever you're drawing first. I mean, draw your island, because I didn't think of the idea of these two being rivals until I drew this one. So you can just kind of experiment and see what you come up with. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is another way to do a map, and you can decide if that's what you would rather do, okay? Okay, for this next part, we're going to use anything that you may have around the house, hopefully that looks kind of like an old paper bag. Hopefully you have a paper bag laying around, and it can be any size. I found these in the kitchen here at school. But even if it's not a paper bag, if it's, you know, just a blank piece of paper that's maybe different colored, but paper bag works good. I ripped mine open and took off the bottom, so it looks like this, okay? And even like, you know, I tried to rip it as clean as possible, but this just makes it even look better. And see, this is the cut, and that was how it was made. But so I might go in there and, you know, rip this off to make it look even more old-timey, but you can do that later. So I'm going to draw really quick a map. Let's draw, this is some sort of island. There's one big tree on it. There's water. There's a whale. Boop. Terrible whale. I'm trying to do it fast. So there you have, once you get your whole map done. Oh, and we want to talk a little bit about that. I talked about it, but didn't draw one. Any kind of thing that has 4 points on it is your direction. And you can write like N, east, south, west. And some people make these like, they look like a design, like there's a face on it. And they have designs on here. But just so you know, that's roughly what we'd like to do. Then the cool part is once you have your map, this is very basic, you can crumple it up. There. Now it looks like it's aged about 50 years. And sometimes you could even rip part of it out. Oh, what's missing? And, you know, some people will even get it wet and let it dry so it's a little more brittle. But whatever you'd like to do. And then you can, my kids used to do this when we were little. We would make these. And then roll it up, put like a rubber band or a piece of string or something around it, and they would pull it off. They'd make pirate maps around the house. And there you go. That's map making 101. Go on, create a world, and I think it's fun to create a story in your own world, and then do the basic drawing first, and then you can always go in and do little details. And like I said, when you do little details, you want something small, like a pencil. And, you know, so you can do little details. A marker is really hard to do that with. And then color it as much as possible. Any kind of colors you may have will work. And yeah, that's it. Make it as good as you can and try to enjoy.